Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Tanish Gupta. In this video, I am going to walk you through with the live demo of creating a new microservice as promised in my previous video, wherein I had just talked about monolithic and microservice based architecture by taking an example of Amazon app. Here I have created this microservice with the help of account component. Now coming to the microservice verticals, I have chosen Spring Boot, which is an open source Java based framework. With the help of this framework, one can easily create standalone and production ready applications very quickly. So you can go for other frameworks like Dropwizard or Play. This framework has inbuilt integration with embedded server, which is easy to deploy with the containers like Docker. Moreover, an embedded server is embedded as a part of the whole deployable application. So in Spring Boot, the default embedded server is Tomcat. If we talk about the Dropwizard, the default embedded server is Jetty. Now coming to the build automation tool, I have opted for Maven, in which you just need to create a POM file, that is project object model. It is an XML file that contains all the dependencies and configuration details to build the project. Again, you can go for other build automation tool like Gradle as well. Here I have used JPA, Java Persistent API, that define how we can communicate with some persistent store, which is MySQL in our case. Now coming to the microservice REST architecture. Let's say we have bunch of clients and they try to interact with this account microservice. So how data flows from one layer into the another layer? As soon as any kind of a request falls onto this microservice, it goes to the controller layer, and then this layer passes this request to the service layer. All the application logic is bundled over here. So based on the given logic, it tries to pass this request to the DAO layer, which is actually data access object, and in turn it tries to communicate with the backend, which may be MySQL or Oracle or MySQL server, and then in turn it tries to build up the response, and that response is sent back to the user. So this is the overall picture of microservice REST architecture. Now without going into the further detail, I'll be starting the demo for the same. Here you can see I have created this account microservice named account microservice demo, in which you can see the structure like this. So in the source file, in terms of the source file, I have created the overlabel package, that is com.thetechgeek.demo. So this is the main application file. In terms of the model package, you will find all the POJOs or model with respect to that project. In terms of repository package, you will find all the repository file which try to interact with the database. And then on the same page, I have created this resources package, in which you will find all the controllers. In terms of the services package, you will find all the service files, and then on the same page all the service implementation in services.impl package. Now coming to the pom.xml file, which is actually talking about the dependencies. So if you can see, Spring Boot starter data JPA is the Spring Boot dependency, which actually try to connect with the JPA, Java Persistent API. Now for the Spring Boot web, I have used this dependency, Spring Boot starter web, and on the same page to connect with the MySQL database, we have used the MySQL connector Java dependency. Now coming to the application property, which contains all the config related information. So prior to that, I have already created a database as a part of the MySQL, that we name it as a microservice. and the user for the database is demo and the password is demo. So now if you see here, I have jotted down all the MySQL commands. Now you can create all these commands sequentially. First is like create user, username, and then identified by the password. So once this demo user is created, you just need to grant all the permission to this user using this command, grant all privileges on this user, and then once this granting is done, you just need to create the appropriate database as a part of this project. So now coming back to the project, starting with the main application. So if you see, I have annotated this file as @Spring Boot application, which shows this microservice is a Spring Boot application. So if you run this, you will see bunch of logs over here. In that you would find the process ID on which this project is running, or I would say this microservice is running. So you can take the help of this process ID for any kind of a purpose. And then if you see, Tomcat is the default web server for this, and this is running on 8080 port. And one more thing you can see, like Hikari pool over here. So this is nothing but a connection pooling mechanism. So basically it provides to be lightweight and better performing. So that's all in terms of starting the application. Now let's talk about the controller first. So as I said, as soon as any kind of a request comes in, it falls onto the controller. So that's where I have annotated the file with @controller. And then you just need to define the over level mapping, so that is @account. So to test all these API, either you can download this Postman client onto your system, or you can install any kind of a REST plugin with respect to your browser like Chrome or Firefox. So that's where you can see this is a kind of a your local host, then port name, and then the over level URI. So this goes to this controller, and then based on the respective REST verbs, whether it is a get API, you just need to say get mapping, whether it is a post API, you need to say post mapping, and then put mapping for the update API, and delete mapping for the delete API. And as a part of the path variable, it means whenever you want to pass some variable in terms of getting the specific account detail, you annotate that particular API with @path variable. As a part of the post request, sometimes you just need to pass the request body, so then you just need to annotate that particular POJO or model with the help of @request body. So that's how you can play around. So let's start with the get mapping, get call for this controller. So as I told you, as soon as any kind of a request comes onto this controller, it passes this request to the service layer. So for that, we just need to have the dependency of service layer to this controller. So this is created with the help of @autobind annotation, and then whatever the service file is there. So in our case, this is the account service. So if you go to the service file, we have annotated this interface with @service annotation. That's how we can see this is the service layer, and on the same page we have created the implementation of this account service interface. So that so this account service impl is annotated with the @account component annotation. Now, as I said, as soon as a request falls onto the service layer, it passes this request to the repository layer. So that's how we just created the dependency of account repository, which is in our case with the help of @autobind annotation. And then if you go to the account repository, we have annotated this file as @repository annotation, and this is ultimately going to communicate with the database, which is MySQL in our case, in terms of JPA API, Java Persistent API. So let's start with one of the API. If we talk about this get APIs, let me try to execute the same. So this is the get wow, and account is like the whole URI for us. So if I execute it, you can see this is the account which I have already created. So now let's create a new account for this post API. This is mapped to this function, and then account is the URI for this, and then as a part of the post mapping we just need the body. So let's say this is name of the account is Sachin, and then the company could be, let's say, Sears. If I execute it, you will see the ID is created and the name of Sachin, and then company is Sears. So let's try to get all these accounts. So if you can see, this was the prior account which I had created, and then this is the recent account. So now the question comes in how this ID is generated. So let's talk about this model. So this is the account model in which I have taken few of the properties like ID, name, company. So ID is nothing but is a auto generated field. For that you just need to annotate the field as at the rate generated value, and then you just need to define the strategy whether it is a auto or sequent kind of that. So based on that it will generate the ID automatically, and then bunch of other fields like name, whether it is nullable or not, you can specify any kind of a detail. Obviously you can add few more properties like age and address, whatever you need. So this is all about account model. So ultimately this account model is converted into the account table in MySQL. So if you see in the MySQL client, you would see account table with the columns ID and then name and then company. So let's check. So let me connect with the same user demo, and then password is demo. So let's use the microservice, that is a database in our case. Now if we check all the tables, we can see this is the account table. So select star from account. You can see the columns like ID, company and in, and you can see there are 2 rows. Now if I want to check the specific account details, let's say I have created this 4 ID. So let me try with the 4. So it will give us the specific account detail. Now on the same page, if I want to delete that particular account, so let's say I just need to select the delete verb over here. So this is deleted. If I try to get all the account detail, you would see like that particular recent account was deleted. So this is all about in terms of microservices. Obviously I'll add the GitHub link of this microservice in the video description. If you have any doubt or feedback, feel free to comment in the comment box. Now as a course of next action, if you want, I'll create a video on how to dockerize the same application or how to generate the Swagger APIs for the same, so that we can deploy it as a part of container. I hope you would have got the gist for the same. Please like the video and hit the bell icon for more updates. In addition to that, if you haven't subscribed my channel till now, please do that and share it with your friends and family. Thanks a lot.